Hi everyone, this is Eunice here. Welcome to my first episode of Project Analysis. And this time round, I'm going to deep dive into Lentor Central Residences. Going forward, I'll be doing more project analysis video on other upcoming projects. Please help to subscribe to my channel or like my video. I'm sure some of you may have heard of the Lentor projects, and some may be curious why government are building so many units in this area. So for those who have watched my previous video, I've covered the important aspects of the Lentor in 10 minutes. Feel free to click on the link to find out more. In this project series, I'll be running through with you on the location, supply and demand, floor plans, as well as the pricing itself. Let's start. Yeah, so this is actually the artist's impression of Lentor Central Residences. So basically from the picture itself, you can actually see there are two towers. And basically, it's actually one of the tallest projects in the Lentor cluster. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so basically, in terms of the location-wise, right, we are actually located here in the Lentor, near the Lentor MRT. And basically, the Lentor Central Residences is over this part here. It's basically just diagonally located opposite the Lentor Modern Mall. Okay, so within just a very short walk, right, you can actually reach the Thompson Nature Park, and also you have the Upper Pierce Reservoir Park, and also the Lower Pierce Reservoir. So in terms of nature, right, it is very good because you get a lot of green natures, and also within the project itself, right, so you just need to come out from the project site itself, and you can actually reach the Lentor Hill Park. Okay, and then we are actually very close proximity to the Ang Mo Kio area. So basically, if you talk about like going towards the Ang Mo Kio hub, right, it is also just a very short minutes drive. Alternatively, right, we are also surrounded by some of the good schools, like for example, the Anderson Primary School, and also the St. Nicholas Girls School. In terms of the supply and demand in this area, right, so what government is trying to do is to make the entire Lentor estate as a new township. Okay, so basically from this article itself, you can see there are altogether 11 plots of land. Okay, and government is going to build estimated of 5,000 over residential units over in this cluster. You might be wondering where are the 11 plots of land. So let me just quickly show it to you right now. Okay, so basically what we have launched so far, right, is actually this one. Okay, so this is the Lentor Modern, and then we have also launched the Hillock Green. Lentor Hills is over here, and also we have the Lentoria, and for this plot of land is actually the Lentor Mansion. And for Lentor Central Residences, right, so this is the location. It is basically just diagonally opposite this Lentor Modern Mall and the MRT. Okay, so what is going to be launched in the next coming years is basically this plot of land, and this one, and this one, this one, and also this one. Okay, so in terms of this, right, we can summarize that these are all together the 11 plots of land that's been planned so far. Yeah, so I guess you guys have a better understanding on the 11 plots of lands and in terms of location where it is. So what I'm going to show you next is actually the takeout rate of the existing launches in Lentor. So let's take a look. Okay, so basically from here, right, you can see altogether there are 5 parcels that's already been launched. Okay, and Lentor Central Residences will be the 6th parcel. Okay, based on the existing launches, right, altogether, you can see most of them has already hit more than 70% of sales. So for Lentor Modern, right, it has already been fully sold out. And for Hillock Green, which is over here just opposite the MRT itself, it is 474 units, but 88% has already been sold. Okay, and then in terms of the Lentor Hill Residences, which is over this parcel here, 598 units, we have already have 99.5% sold out. Okay, and for Lentor Mansion, 533 units, we have already hit 98.12%. And the last one, which is a smallest plot of land among all the Lentor cluster, right? Lentoria being 267 units, we have already have more than 70% sold already. Yeah, in terms of the total number of units in the Lentor cluster, right, that has been launched, which includes the Lentor Central Residences, we have 2954 units. Okay, the unsold units as of mid of February 2025 only left with 158 units. So now I think we have a better picture on an overview of the projects in Lentor cluster. So let's zoom right now into the project details of Lentor Central Residences. Okay, so from this slide itself, right, you can see that altogether for Lentor Central Residences, there are altogether 477 units. Okay, and there are 2 towers. Okay, and basically this project itself, right, it comes with a childcare center. Okay, and then in terms of the completion date, right, it will not be later than 2030. Okay, on paper itself. Okay, and then in terms of car park lots, right, you actually get 1-to-1 car park lots, which is, I would say, is very rare, because usually for the project that's very near to the MRT, right, it's very difficult to find a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, in terms of the car park lots. So I would say this is an advantage for the residents over in this area as well. Okay, and then in terms of the building height, right, so the 2 towers, it comprises of 27 stories and 28 stories with 2 basement car parks. Let's go through the unit mix in this project itself. Okay, so basically for this project, right, we actually have 1, 2, 4 bedrooms. Okay, and then for the 1-bedder, right, you can see from here there are altogether 55 units. Okay, which comprise of 12% of the entire development. And then for 2-bedroom, it's actually 44%, which is considered quite a lot as well. Okay, it's almost half of the projects consisting of the 2 bedrooms. Okay, and then for 3 and 4-bedder, right, altogether we have 44%. Now let's take a look at the target completion date of the existing launches and also the Lentor Central Residences. Okay, so let's do a comparison. In this, so from this diagram itself, right, you can see that Lentor model will be the first one that will be TOP. In fact, if you go to the actual site to see, right, it's more or less going to be ready soon. Okay, so the targeted TOP date is somewhere in 2026, and together with Lentor Hill as well, Lentor Hill Residences as well. And then for Hillock Green, is targeted to be 2027, and likewise for Lentor as well. And then for Lentor Mansion, right, which is the biggest, so-called biggest development in the Lentor cluster, this is going to be TOP somewhere in 2028 to 2029. So how about Lentor Central Residences? Lentor Central Residences, right, just now I did mention that on paper itself it's not later than 2030. Basically, based on this, right, we can actually clearly see that it's good to TOP in a later stage, so you don't clash together with those who have TOP much earlier. So now the next question is, where exactly is this Lentor and what do we have in this Lentor area? So let's take a look at the MRT map by itself. Okay, from here you can see the Lentor is actually located just at this station here. Okay, so from this station itself, right, so if you go further down 2 more stops, you will reach the Bright Hill interchange. So Bright Hill is going to be the future interchange between Cross Island Line and also the Thomson East Coast Line. Okay, so for this part here, right, if you go 2 stops further, you will reach the Caldecott interchange, which is a Circle Line interchange. Okay, so another 2 stops further, you will actually reach the Stevens MRT, which is the interchange between the Downtown Line and the Thomson East Coast Line. So what is good about this Thomson East Coast Line is actually because it links you directly from the north, okay, to the CBD area and then towards the East Coast area as well. Okay, so if you just want to go towards the Orchard MRT, right, it will only take you about 9 stops to reach the Orchard MRT from Lentor, and it's actually a direct single line. You don't really need to change in between. Okay, so if you want to go further down to the northeast region, right, you can actually go to the Outram Park interchange to change to northeast line. Yeah, So if you go further north towards the Woodlands North MRT, right, which is just about actually 3 to 4 stations from Lentor, it's going to be the JB and RTS link. Okay, for those who might not know, the JB and RTS link, right, is actually currently in progress, and it will be completed somewhere in around 2026. So what happens is actually in the future, right, you can actually go to the Woodlands North MRT and you can actually take a train to the JB side. So this is very good for those who really like to go shopping in JB. Yeah, so you actually can reduce your traveling time. And also in the future, right, for this Thomson East Coast line, right, it will be expanded all the way to Changi Airport Terminal 5. Yeah, so now I'm going to bring you through some of the key transformations in the Lentor area or the nearby estate. Although I've done a video previously to talk about the transformation and the decentralization initiative by the government to have the CBD in the outskirts area. So if you want to get to know more details about the transformation in detail, you can actually refer to my previous video. But right now, I'm just going to touch on quickly on some of the key initiatives around this area. So first of all, we have the Punggol Digital District. So for those who may not know, there's already a university in this area, which is Singapore Institute of Technology. This is already up and running. And also, we have this Punggol Coast MRT that has already been open since December 2024. As well. So this MRT itself will bring you direct to Punggol Digital District. And also we have upcoming the commercial hubs. Okay, for those who may not know, OCBC and UOB is also going to move over to the Punggol area. And we also have the 2 upcoming hotels in this area, okay, which is located near the Coney Island area. Okay, and then in terms of other transformation nearby, right, we also have the Seletar Aerospace and also the North-South Corridor, which is also happening right now. So for details, you can actually refer to my previous video on this. Okay, the next big thing is actually the JB and Singapore RTS link, which is the train to link between Singapore and JB. So where is this interchange located? It's actually at the Woodlands North MRT, which is just a few stops away from the Lentor MRT itself. So once this is up and running, definitely it will attract more human traffic to the north area. Yeah, so now we already covered an overview of Lentor Central Residences. Next, I'm going to drill down into the floor plan analysis. So why is this crucial? It's because there are so many projects in the Lentor estate. So how do we determine which are the floor plan that will stand out and which are the one that you should be avoiding? So this is what I will be doing the analysis for you. Yeah, and right now I would like to go through with you the floor plan for one bedder. So in the Lentor Central Residences, right, there are altogether 2 types of one bedder. Okay, the size is actually the same, which is 463 square feet. However, you can see based on this layout, right, the position of the fridge, right, is actually on a different direction. Okay, whereas the rest are more or less the same. Okay, for this layout itself, right, you can actually see that this is located at stack 11, which is pool facing. Okay, and then for this layout itself is actually located at stack number 6. Okay, so where exactly this facing is in the future, right, there will be upcoming residential over at this area. And right now it's actually an empty plot of land, but then in the future there will be upcoming development. So in terms of the premium stack, right, I do feel that stack 11 might command a higher price. Yeah, because if you choose to have a lower level, right, you actually get to have a pool view. Next, I would like to run through with you the 1 plus study layout. So for those who may not know, right, the entire Lentor Central Residences, right, there's only 2 exclusive units of 1 plus study, which is actually located at the ground floor level of stack 14 and stack number 5. Okay, you can see it. Both is actually outward facing. Okay, so for the size of 581 square feet, right, it actually comes with an enclosable kitchen. Okay, and you actually have a glass panel here which will allow the lights to come into the kitchen. And then for the study itself, right, it's actually not a bad size because you can actually turn this into a flexi space. If you do not want to use it as a study room, you can also turn it into a guest room because it can be easily connected to the master bathroom as well. Okay, there you can notice that there is actually a door over at this area here. Yeah, so for this one, right, in terms of the One Plus study, right, although it's quite a good layout and also a good size, but I would like to bring your attention to the neighboring competitor, which is Lentor Mansion. Because for this project itself, right, for a 527 square feet, right, you can actually get a 2-bedder and 1 bath over in that project. Okay, so for this 2-bedder, right, you actually get a proper common bedroom in this case versus a study room. So I just want to bring your attention to this because if you are really interested in getting this One Plus study layout, right, you might need to consider in terms of the price point. Okay, in case you might be overpaying what people are actually paying for the Lentor Mansion. Okay, and at the same time they are able to get a 2-bed 1 bath at this juncture. Okay, so just bear in mind the price point, and also in terms of the future exit, right, you might also need to consider, because if let's say in the future, if you are going to sell the One Plus study as a higher premium, right, as a higher price than Lentor mentioned, then you might be facing a tough competition. Okay, because if people are paying for the same price, right, they might actually consider to go for Lentor Mansion, because in this case they can actually get a proper bedroom number 2 in this case. Okay, and next one I'm going to show you is the price analysis for the 1-bedder unit in the Lentor estate. Okay, so what I've gathered is actually the transacted price across the other 5 launches that's been launched in the Lentor area. Okay, basing on this, right, developer has also announced the indicative pricing for the Lentor Central Residences will be starting from 975,000 onwards. Okay, and let's see the transacted prices for the other 5 launches that's been launched so far. Okay, so we can see that majority of the 1-bedder in this cluster, right, except for Lentor Hills and Lentor Mansion, because for Lentor Mansion, there is no 1-bedder unit. There is only 2 to 5-bedder in Lentor Mansion. So for the rest of the 3 projects here, right, the starting price has already hit more than 1 million. Okay, and majority of the projects here, right, the 1-bedder has already transacted above 1.3 million onwards. Okay, so if we look at this pricing back, right, so this parcel is actually launching much way later, like 2 years later from the Lentor Modern. But however, if you can see from here, right, the price is actually way back to the old price tag. Okay, so this based on this price tag, right, you can actually see that a lot of people has already been accepting the price range around this 1.3 million for a 1-bedder unit. So do you think this is actually a safe price to enter for a 1-bedder in the Lentor estate, based on the pricing perspective? Okay, so next I'm going through with you on the supply of 1-bedder in Lentor estate. So the question that I often receive from my friends and clients is, are we oversupply or not in the Lentor area? Because previously, right, for those older condos, right, in this vicinity, there isn't much 1-bedder. But suddenly there is a surge in the supply of 1-bedder in this vicinity, based on the few new launches that are coming up or has already been launched in the Lentor area. So what I've done is actually to gather the statistics of the data within 1 kilometer from Lentor Central Residences. Okay, so based on this 1 kilometer, right, so we have all these condos, which is within 1 km from Lentor Central Residences. So out of these projects, right, Lentor Modern, Hillock Green, Lentor Hill Residences, and Lentoria are the new launches. They are still undergoing the construction phase. Okay, and they are all having 1-bedder. Okay, so how about the other older projects in the Lentor area? So for the older projects, you can see majority of them actually doesn't have the 1-bedder, except for Seasons Park, okay, which has already been TOP since 1997. Okay, And then for middle appeals, which is slightly newer, it does come with a one bedder as well. So based on this, right, only 2 projects in this vicinity are having one bedder. So do you think we are oversupply or undersupply? So my next slide, I will actually be sharing more with you on this. And next, I'll be going to review how many one bedder and 1+ study units are there in the entire Lentor cluster as of now for those projects that we have launched. Okay, so you can see that for these 6 projects, right, altogether we have 237 units of one bedder and 1+ study. Okay, and the total number of units in the entire cluster as of now is actually 2954 units, which only make out like 8% of the total entire unit distribution in the entire Lentor cluster. So do you think this is actually a lower percentage or on a high side? So let's take a look. In terms of the comparison against the surrounding resale projects, right, I've actually taken Panorama because Panorama is generally still like considered quite a new project, which is very close to Lentor. Okay, and this project is actually TOP in 2017. Okay, but the remaining lease tenure is actually left with 87 years. Okay, so let's take a look at the one bedder transacted price at the Panorama. So for this one, right, I have gathered the data. So the highest transacted, right, as of today, right, is actually 865,000 for a one bedder unit. So based on this, right, if let's say I were to reinstate this to 99 years, because the remaining years is only left with 87 years. So what if let's say we manage to reinstate back to 99 years, right, what would be the pricing like? So you can see from here, right, so if I use 865,000 divide by 87 times 99 years, right? So in actual fact, the price that you pay for this is actually like 984,000. Okay, which is honestly not very far from the Lentor Central Residences, because the Lentor Central Residences, right, is actually starting from 975k, and this is actually a brand new lease. Okay, and next what I'm going to compare is actually a mega development which is located in the Treasure at Tampines. Okay, this is in the Tampines area, which is not very close to the MRT. So this project itself, right, has actually 2,203 units. Okay, and the number of one bedder units there is actually 231, which is about 10.5% of the entire unit distribution. Okay, so if we take a look at the one bedder profitability, right, you can see that as of today, right, there's no unprofitable transactions as of now. Okay, so and basically, and you can see the highest profit that the buyer has made is actually 213,000, and this is considered not a bad profit for the one bedder units. So we have already gone through the one bedder unit layout. Next, we'll be going through the two bedder layout. So for your information, Lentor Central Residences, it doesn't have a 2-bed 1-bath units. So the smallest 2-bedder that it has, right, is actually 2-bed 2-bath. Okay, so for in this case, right, the 2-bed 2-bath, right, it actually comes with 2 sizes, which is 678 square feet and also the 689 square feet. Okay, in terms of the difference, right, is actually the dumbbell layout versus the traditional layout. Okay, and then where is the location of this 2-bedder 2-bath is actually at stack 10 and stack 18 and stack 1. Okay, so all of them are actually facing inwards towards the pool view. Yeah, and now I would like to explain to you what is the difference between the dumbbell versus the traditional layout. So as per what you can see from here, right, 678 square feet, right, these are the 2 dumbbell layouts. Okay, and basically what it means is actually the living room is actually located in the middle between the 2 bedrooms. So this is kind of saves the corridor space, because the moment when you enter in, right, there is no long foyer, long corridor, and you can straight away enter into the bedroom door itself. In this sense, there's no wastage of space. Okay, and then for the 689 square feet, what does it mean by the traditional layout is actually, okay, the bedrooms, master bedroom and common bedrooms, right, is all tucked within the same corner. Okay, in this case, it's like the living room is at its corner by itself. Okay, so usually in the traditional layout, sometimes we may see there is a long corridor space from the living room itself to the bedroom. But in this case, I think the developer has actually done a very good job to design the space itself, and you can see there is not much wastage of space, and there is no long foyer or long corridor for this traditional layout itself. And in case you might not know, there are altogether, right, 718 units of dumbbell layout in the Lentor Hills estate right now, whereas there is only 249 units of traditional layout. And in terms of the pricing, right, I don't see a very significant difference between this layout versus the dumbbell layout, the traditional versus the dumbbell layout, because the difference in the size, right, is only like 11 square feet. So basically now let's go through the 2-bedroom plus study layout. Okay, there are quite a lot of 2-bedroom plus study in this project itself. So alright, we can actually see there are altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks of 2-bedroom plus study. So the difference is actually in terms of the facing is different. So you can see these 2 stacks, right, 14 and 15 is facing towards the Lentor Hilllock Park. Okay, and then for this 04 and 05, right, is actually facing towards the north side, which is facing towards the empty plot of land, which is located just next to the Lentor Modern. Okay, and then for this stack 9 particularly, right, this is facing towards the pool view. Okay, so for the 2 plus study, right, it actually comes with the 2 sizes. Okay, 786 square feet and 797 square feet. But majority of them belongs to the 786 square feet configuration. Okay, so for the 797, what is the difference between this versus the 786 square feet unit? It's basically just the living room area. Okay, whereas the rest of the master bedroom, bedroom and bathroom, study room and kitchen, they are all in similar size. Okay, and the good things about this study, right, is actually it has the access to the bathroom as well. Okay, so which also means that you can actually turn it into a guest room, a flexi room, because for this unit it can easily fit in a single bed as well. Okay, and it also comes with the air conditioner, and you can also just enclose it with a door. Yeah, so now we have already taken a look at the 2 plus study layout in Lentor Central Residences. And next, I would like to also bring your attention into the nearby projects. Okay, because if we take a look at the Lentor Mansion, right, so with this size of 786 square feet, right, we can actually get the 3-bedroom compact with the same size in Lentor Mansion as well. But of course, this unit itself is already fully sold as of today. And if you compare the layout between these two, right, for Lentor Central, right, it's good in the sense that it can be converted into a enclosable kitchen as well. Okay, whereas for the Lentor Mansion, right, this is considered an open kitchen. Okay, with just a kitchenette only. But the good things of this is, with the same size, right, it can actually fit into another bedroom. Okay, so when come into the pricing, right, if you are looking into a 2 plus study, right, you need to be very careful with the pricing, because as of today, right, for the Lentor Mansion 3-bedroom compact, right, the transacted range is actually around this price range. Okay, 1.7 mil to 1.925 mil. Okay, so if you are looking into the 2 plus study layout, right, you just have to really make sure, right, it doesn't really go surpass this price range by too much gap. So let us go through the 2-bedroom pricing. Okay, yeah, so for this one, right, you can see that the surrounding transacted price, right, for the new launches in the Lentor estate, right, basically you can see it's actually starting from the range of 1.13x all the way up to 1.8x million. Okay, And in terms of the indicative pricing provided by the developer, right, Lentor Central Residences is going to launch from 1.388 million onwards. So this really gives you a very good safety buffer. Yeah, because you can see that a lot of units has already done at this price. Yeah, which is 1.8 million for a two-bedder, which also means that this is generally accepted by most of the buyers in today's market. So if let's say you can get a unit at 1.388 million, right? Or even to 1.4 or to 1.5, generally this is still considered a very safe purchase because you have a safety cushion, right? Of close to like 300k. Okay, assuming if let's say you purchase at a 1.5 million range. So now we have gotten an idea on the indicative pricing for the Lentor Central Residences. Basically what I'm going to do next is to compare it with the resale projects nearby, which is the Panorama. Okay, the reason why I'm taking Panorama again is because it is generally the closest condo to the Lentor estate and generally is newer. Okay, so basically I have taken the past 2-year transaction for the two-bedder units in the Panorama, and as per what you can see, right, the transacted price is ranging from 1.19 million to 1.55 million. So you can see the PSF is already hitting above 2,000 for this unit itself. So I'm going to do the same calculation that I've done for the one-bedder unit. If let's say I've reinstate this to 99 years lease again, right, what would be the price be? So if we take a look at this formula here, right, so generally you should be paying 1.76 million for a two-bedder unit in the Panorama. Okay, so now let's go back to Lentor Central Residences again. So assuming if let's say you can get a unit at 1.388 million, right, which is what the developer has mentioned about this is the starting price for the two-bedder. So do you think this is generally safer? And also, this is a fresh new lease of 99 years. So maybe you can put out your comments in the below the two-bedder unit. Let's move on to the three-bedder unit. Okay, so for three-bedroom, right, it comes with two different types of three-bedroom. One is the three-bedroom compact, and the other is the three-bedroom premium. Okay, so for the three-bedroom compact, right, it comes with this size, 915 square feet. Okay, and actually, this is located at stick 7 and also stick 12. Okay, so for the stick 7, right, generally this is facing outwards towards the empty plot of land, which is going to be the future residential as well. And for stick 12, right, this is actually facing towards the pool. Okay, so let's take a look at the layout itself. Okay, for this unit, right, I would say the layout itself is considered very functional. Okay, first of all, when you enter from the foyer itself, right, you actually have a storage area here. Okay, and then for the kitchen, it's also considered quite a good size with a huge panel of glass window. So the good thing about the glass window, right, is actually it will allow the natural lights to come in. So even during the daytime, you wouldn't need to worry that the kitchen is very dark. And also there is a window over at this area. Okay, so moving towards the living room. This is actually a portrait living room. Okay, so when you move into here, right? So this area here is very difficult to find a project with the windows along the foyer area, here nowadays. Okay, why is it so? It's because this one we need to gain access to the aircon latch. Okay, and also because of this, right, this also allows the natural lights to come in. So you won't feel that your corridor at this area is going to be very dark. Okay, even like during the daytime. Okay, and for the master bathroom, right, and also the common bathroom, right, both are coming with the windows itself. Okay, and then all the three bedrooms, right, are all facing towards the same directions. So for the three-bedroom compact type, right, we have also done a comparable analysis with other Lentor projects. So we are looking at those with a similar size, which is less than 1000 square feet. Okay, for Lentor Modern, this is also quite a good layout, I would say, because for this 969 square feet, right, it actually comes with a flexi room. Okay, and this flexi room itself has got a window, so which will also allows the natural light to come in to the entire corridor area here. Alright, and also for this enclosed kitchen, right, there is this enclosed kitchen over this area. However, because there is no glass panel at this area, so the only way that the sunlight can come in, right, the natural light can come in is actually from this window itself. Okay, let's move on to the Lentor Hills. I would say the Lentor Hills layout is quite similar to the Lentor Central because it has also got a glass panel over this area, and also there's a window at this side as well. Okay, and one similarities that I noticed is actually the windows along this corridor area here, the corridor space. So this will also allow the natural light to come in to the corridor. Okay, and so you don't need to really worry like the daytime the whole corridor space is getting very dark. Yeah. Okay, and next will be the Hillock Green. So Hillock Green the size is slightly smaller, 904 square feet. And personally, I feel that the kitchen in this area is pretty small because assuming if let's say two people are squeezing into the kitchen, right, generally it will actually take up quite a lot of space already. So the last one that I would like to compare is the Lentorial and Lentor Mansion. And basically the 3-bedroom compared in the Lentorial, right, you can see that it comes with a really long walkway. Okay, so this area here is, I feel that it's a little bit wasted of space. Okay, and in terms of the rest of the configuration, right, you can see that the kitchen, right, there's only a small window at this area here. Alright, and for Lentor Mansion itself, right, okay, the 3-bedroom compared, right, it actually comes with a flexi room. Okay, so this flexi room is kind of open out, but if you would like to enclose it, you can actually enclose it as well. And you can actually make use of this, right, as a study area or a flexi room or a guest room. Yeah, and also given that the size is generally like not very big, but the good thing is it can actually fit in a dry kitchen at this area. And also you can see that from the foyer itself, from the main entrance, right, when you enter into this foyer area, there's not much wastage of the corridor space. Yeah, so we have already gone through the layout for the 3-bedroom compact. Next, I will be showing you the 3-bedroom premium configuration. So for 3-bedroom premium, right, they are altogether 2 stacks, which is stack 17, having the pool view, and also the stack number 2. Okay, stack number 2 is also having some pool view, and if you manage to get a higher floor unit, right, you may also have the Hillock Park view as well. Okay, so for this unit itself, right, it's actually 1076 square feet. Okay, the additional things that it comes as compared to the 3-bedroom compact is actually the dual storage, which is a home shelter plus the storage area. Okay, which the 3-bedroom compact doesn't have. And the kitchen itself, it also comes with the glass panel. So you don't really need to worry if let's say during the daytime it will be very dark because there's a window over at this area and also the glass panel at this area. Okay, and also for the WC and the area, right, it also comes with the window. Yeah, so let's move on to the other type of 3-bedroom premium. So I would say the configuration is pretty much similar. The only difference is actually on the main entrance itself. You can see this versus this. Okay, so now I've already finished the 3-bedroom premium configuration. So next I'll be going through the pricing analysis for the 3-bedroom unit type. So as per what you can see from here, right, developer has already released the indicative pricing for 3-bedroom. And basically it will start from 1.813 million onwards. As per what you can see from the surrounding new launch, right, the 3-bedroom has already been transacted up to 2.7 million for Lentor Modern. Okay, and you can see majority of the units here, right? The projects here, basically it also start around the 1.7 million to 1.8 range. So this is another chance that you can actually get at the old price tag. And also for Lentor Central Residences, right, being very close to the MRT and the Lentor Modern Mall, I'm sure that this is going to be one of the projects that will receive quite a pretty good response as well. Yeah, so now we are going to compare the pricing for the Lentor Central Residences versus the surrounding resale projects. Again, we are going to use Panorama in this context. Okay, so for Panorama, right, for the past 2 years, you can see the 3-bedder, right, has already been transacted between this range, 1.8 million to 2.42 million. So in this example, right, if let's say we put it into the perspective that we have done for 1-bedder and 2-bedder, to reinstate it back to 99 years fresh lease, right, what would be the price then? So you can see from here, right, 2.42 million, if let's say I divide by 87 years, times 99 years, right? So you will need to pay about 2.75 million if let's say you need to get something from a fresh new lease. Okay, but in Lentor Central Residences context, right, today the 3-bedroom, right, it just start with 1.8 million onwards. So in this case, you can see what are the amount of the safety margin that you will have. Okay, 1.8 million versus 2.75 million. So you have quite a big buffer in this sense. Yeah, right now we have come to the last unit type, which is a 4-bedder. So for Lentor Central Residences, right, we have two types of 4-bedder. One is the 1184 square feet and the other one is a larger unit, which is 1399 square feet. So for this type 4A, right, it can be found in State 13. State 13 is actually facing towards the Hilo Park, which means that you will get a lot of greeneries. Okay, and let's take a look at the configuration itself. So for the 4-bedder, right, it comes with a home shelter and also an additional storage. Okay, and you can see that the kitchen itself is also quite spacious. And this yard and the WC area, it comes with a window. And there is also a glass panel over at this area here, which means that your kitchen will be very well ventilated and also plenty of natural light will be coming in. Okay, so let's move into the other area, which is you can see the difference. Okay, for the master bedroom, right, you can see that the wardrobe itself is considered very spacious. Okay, you get a very long wardrobe in this case. Okay, but the downside of this unit type, right, is actually there is only so-called 2 bathrooms. Okay, which is a master bathroom and the common bathroom. Okay, for this bathroom, right, it will need to be shared by the other 3 rooms. And the other type of 4-bedder is actually located at state number 8. So this is more towards the inner facing, having the pool view. Okay, in terms of configuration, right, it's pretty much similar to the previous layout. The only difference is actually on the master bedroom, because the walk-in closet is over at this area, which is an L-shaped closet, whereas the previous unit type is having a long wardrobe by itself. Okay, instead of the L-shaped closet. Okay, and for this configuration one, right, the kitchen will also be very bright because it comes with a glass panel as well. And the rest is more or less similar to the previous unit type. So we have the 4-bedroom premium, which is the size 1399 square feet. And this 4-bedroom can be found in 2 stacks, which is stack 16 facing towards the Hilo Park, and also stack 3 facing towards the empty plot of lands right now. And in terms of the configuration, right, you can see that the 4th bedroom, right, is actually facing towards the other side. Okay, and this might be a little bit darker because it's facing towards the other units. Okay, and the good thing is actually unlike the non 4-bedroom premium, right, 3 of the bedrooms are sharing towards the same bathroom. But for this case, right, the these 2 bedrooms here, right, is having the access to this bathroom too. Okay, whereas for the 4th bedroom, right, is actually you can consider it as a junior ensuite because it actually has an access to this bathroom 3. Okay, and for this master bedroom itself, right, it comes with a walk-in closet also. Okay, and the another significant difference with the non-premium bedroom type, right, is actually on this landscape living room. Okay, so for this one is considered a wide frontage. It's about 5.35 meters in length. Okay, so if let's say you are getting a unit, right, that is facing towards the Europe part, right, I'm sure this view will be considered very, very good view. Okay, because you actually get a huge balcony and at the same time you can actually enjoy the greenery. Okay, and another plus side of this unit type is actually on the home shelter. Okay, you can see there's home shelter which is over at this area, and on top of that, right, there's an additional of the storage, the storeroom over here, and plus one more storage at this area here. So if let's say you are a family with a helper, right, or multi-generation, if let's say your helper is using the storeroom, right, and you still have additional storage space over at the home shelter area, which is very good. And also the wide frontage living room, right, the benefit is that it will give an open feeling to anyone who actually enter into this living room itself, because you will just feel the entire space is very spacious and very open. So if let's say now we compare the 4-bedroom premium with the other Lentor projects, right? So the similar unit size that you can find in is actually in Lentor Hills. So Lentor Hills, the 4-bedroom premium is actually come with a size of 1345 square feet. And this is a super wide landscape layout. It's about 5.5 meter in length. And it also comes with one junior ensuite in this example here. And also 2 common room with a jet and Jill bathroom, which is over at this area here. Okay, and on top of that, right, you also get to have one storage at this area and the home shelter. Okay, and plus one additional storage. Yellow green, right? Basically, I would think that the entrance itself is a little bit narrow, and you can't really do much things over here except maybe to build a cabinet at this area here. Okay, and for this one, right, the Hero Green 4-bed premium, it comes with a study room. Okay, the study room is actually over this area here. And the downside of this is actually it doesn't have the home shelter or store. Okay, so in the entire unit itself, you cannot see any storage spaces unless you actually utilize this study area to become a flexi space. Okay, for this unit itself, right, you actually have the junior master tucked at the corner as well. Okay, and for the yard, right, I would think the yard is not very spacious because it is like as good as is part of the kitchen by itself. Okay, so now let us compare the 4-bedroom premium against Lentoria and Lentor Mansion. So for Lentoria, right, the size is actually 1345 square feet. However, if you notice on this floor plan itself, right, you will see that the foyer, the long entrance walkway is really, really long. Okay, and you can see for this one here, it's not only long, but it's also quite narrow. So personally, I feel that this is kind of a waste of the space. And okay, on the other side, right, it comes with a landscape living room, which is quite okay in this sense because the landscape living room, right, it always gives people an open feeling, and the entire living room will look more spacious in the sense. Okay, and for this yard area, right, I would think is quite a good size. Okay, because it's just like a independent yard area by itself. Okay, and for this one, it also comes with the utility room, and the WC actually comes with the window as well. Okay, for this 4-bedroom remain in the Lentoria, right? Another good thing that you will notice is actually this study area. Okay, so this study area here, right, is if you need an additional storage space, right, you can actually turn it into a flexi space as well. Okay, it's good enough to be enclosed as a separate room by itself. So for Lentor mention, right, the 4-bedroom is actually 1227 square feet. So as per what you can see for the floor plan, right, there is no wastage of space on the walkway. So the moment when you enter into the unit, right, straight away all are the usable space. And on top of that, you actually get to have one additional storage at this area here. Okay, it's a portrait living room. However, the balcony actually stretches across to the bedroom floor. Okay, and then for the bathroom itself, right, there are altogether 3 bathrooms. So I believe it's more than sufficient to be used. And for the bedroom number 2, right, this is as good as a junior ensuite. Yeah, so now we are going to compare the price for the 4-bedroom versus the surrounding new launches. Okay, so for this 4-bedroom, right, developer has already give a pricing. The indicative will be starting from 2.368 million onwards. Okay, so if we look at the rest of the 5 launches, right, the done deal, right, you can see most of it has already transacted up to above 3 million. Okay, and even on the lower side, right, it's also like on 2.36 to 2.5 million range. Okay, so if let's say you will be able to get a 4-bedder, right, in Lentor Central starting at this price, I would think it's a really good deal. Because if you look at the 3-bedder in some of the projects itself, right, it has already been transacted more than 2.3 million for a 3-bedder unit. So in terms of the comparison against the resale projects, right, again, we are using the Panorama. So for Panorama, right, 4-bedder for the past 2 years, right, it is transacted within the range of 2.55 million to 2.62 million already, okay, which is already more than the indicative pricing of Lentor Central. Okay, in this case, again, let's do a backward calculation. If let's say I were to reinstate this to 99 years, right, 2.62 million, right, if I reinstate to 99 years, you will need to pay about this price, 2.98 million. So you can see how much is the safety buffer for the 4-bedder unit in the Lentor Central Residences. To summarize, what is my preferred unit type in the Lentor Central Residences? So for 1-bedder unit, right, I would think you will just, if can, you just go for the low quantum if you want to maximize your rental yield. Okay, and because for 1-bedder, there's not much layout to be choose, so you just go for the low quantum. And then for the 2-bedder unit, right, I will recommend the 2-bed, which is the traditional layout. Okay, because for this traditional layout itself, right, there is not much competitors around, okay, comparing to the surrounding projects. So I would think future resale buyers, right, they might be looking something like this in terms of the layout, because for dumbbell layouts, right, I think there are too many competitors in this area. Okay, and then for the 3-bedder, right, I would think it's better to go for the 915 square feet if let's say you are not looking at the additional storage space. Because the 915 square feet unit, right, I would think the configuration is very well configured, especially in terms of the natural light and everything like that, right? And also in terms of the space management is very functional. Okay, and then for the 4-bedroom, right, I will also recommend 1184 square feet. Okay, if let's say you are just looking at a very basic storage spaces. Okay, but if let's say you are looking into more storage spaces and in terms of the a larger space, right, a landscape living room, then you can actually go for the 1399 square feet. And yeah, this is just my perspective. Yeah, the last topic that I would like to cover is the oversupply issue in Lentor. So based on this, right, I've actually gathered some of the statistics. So if we base on the HDB that were MOP, right, between 2022 to 2033, this 10-11 years, right, basically we will have about 55,000 of HDB MOP during this period. Okay, so and now let us take a look at the development, the private residential which will TOP in 2026 to 2029 timeframe. So altogether, estimated there will be about 4,800 units that will be TOP during this year, okay, 2026 to 2029. And based on this, right, if let's say we assume 5 to 10% of the HDB upgraders will be upgrading to any of the projects in this area, the number let's say we base on 10%, right? 10% is already about 5,500 units. So this 10%, right, can already support the number of TOP units at this area. Okay. And also given the fact that, right, not all the owners will be putting out their units on sale. So like for example, assuming Lentor Central Residences, right, there might only be 10% of the owners that will put out their units for sale, you know, when the project has achieved the TOP. So this actually explain, right, I don't really see an oversupply issue in the Lentor area, at least within this period of time. Next, let's take a look at this example here at the Floral Road, which is at the Loyang area. Okay, so Jovel is the latest development that has already achieved the TOP in this cluster itself. So this cluster has more than 10 condos. Okay, but we can see that even for Jovel, right, even though it has TOP in 2022, right, you can see that it's still making quite a healthy profit at this juncture. Although there are many other developments that was actually selling at a much lower price. But we can see that the latest development, right, it is still able to make quite a very healthy profit at this juncture. Yeah, so let's take a look at the other example in this cluster itself, Hedges Park Condominium. So this condominium itself, right, has already been TOP since 2015 and is still making a very healthy profit as of today. So if you ask me about the oversupply in Lentor in such a way, the timing that you exit from this property.
Alright, I have come to the end of my project series. I hope you have a better understanding on the Lentor project right now. So if let's say you have any questions related to property, feel free to reach out to me at the number below. And I will see you in my next project series. Bye!